Welcome, yogis. This practice is dedicated to Spring Equinox, and we are just starting in Europe to move into spring now from today onwards. And I wanted to dedicate the practice to the meridian lines that are associated in Chinese medicine with the season of spring. So those meridian lines that we'll focus on today are liver and gallbladder meridian line. And in Chinese medicine, we think of spring, as we do in the Western way, as being this time for potential. This sowing of our seeds and setting intentions for how we want the rest of the year to look. It's seen as a time of new beginnings, fresh perspectives, new ways of doing things, and fresh beginnings. So this is what we're going to be focusing on. So the meridian lines themselves run through the inside line of the body and the outside line of the body. So let me just show you where they are so that you can explore where you're feeling any sensations in the body as we practice together. Liver meridian line is one of the meridian lines that runs along the inside line of the leg towards the groin. It travels up through the center of the body and it starts to move out to the outside edge of our chest. So anytime we're taking the legs away from each other or extending a little through the spine, we're stimulating liver meridian line. And then its partner meridian line is the gallbladder, which works its way along the outside line of our leg, across the side of our hip, zigzags across the side body, and then zigzags across the back of the shoulder to the side of the neck and the side of the face as well. So anytime we're twisting or creating some space in the outside line of the body, we're stimulating this as well. So we're going to get started. Props that we'll need today are a bolster and 2 blocks. And I'm going to start with reclined butterfly. So we're going to take our bolster just behind us here, taking a block either side of our mats, and we'll adjust the height in a moment there. And just bringing your bottom to be a couple of inches away from the end of your bolster. Soles of the feet come to touch. And just gently lying ourselves down over the cushion here, scooping the buttocks under so there's a little release in the lower back here, and then supporting our legs with our blocks. Now it might be that they're on the first height or the second height here. It really depends on what your body needs. And we're just going to lie ourselves down once we've made those necessary adjustments. Take the arms out to a place that feels good here. It can be in close to the body or a little further away. And once you've found your perfect position here, just closing your eyes, surrendering into this place of stillness. Making all of those little adjustments that you need so that you can come to the practice. Allowing the muscles to relax. Allowing the mind to switch off. Coming into this place of simply being rather than the busyness of doing. And as you close your eyes, soften that space in between the eyebrows, around the corners of the eyes. And relaxing the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. Noticing how that gives you this feeling of ease around the jaw and the neck. And the shoulders drawing down either side of the cushion. And the legs supported by the blocks. And gravity doing all of the work for us here. And begin to notice how it feels to become aware of the breath. And the easiest way for us to allow the mind to stay present. And as you take your next breath in through the nose, just notice how it feels with the help of the bolster to elevate around the heart and the chest. This feeling of expansion in the tissues in between the ribs as the lungs fill up with all of that fresh, indulgent energy. And then notice how it feels as you breathe out, everything that expanded just slowly coming back to center as we let the breath work its way back out through the nose. And we can think about each breath in as being an opportunity to expand, to grow, to begin again. We can think about each breath out as a willingness to let go of anything that no longer serves us. As we move into spring, we're coming out of this period of hibernation almost, this period of self-reflection, having slowed down with the shorter days, the longer nights. We've taken time to observe what it is that we want more of, what fills us up and nourishes us, and what it is that we want to move away from. And as we arrive into spring, we start to sow these seeds of what it is that we want to draw into our world. When we take time to come into these shapes that support the practice, we create this sense of inner harmony. And when the liver as an organ is in balance, according to Chinese medicine, then everything on the inside, our inner landscape, is also in this sense of harmony. So as you breathe in, can you allow the breath to last for the count of 4? Notice how it feels to let the exhale be longer than the inhale. Let's take 3 more breaths here. When the 3rd breath is complete, just slowly returning to your natural breath. And just noticing how you feel here. Notice how your mind is doing, as well as the physical space that you've created in the body. And slowly begin to walk the arms in a little closer to the body until you find the legs with the fingers. And guiding the legs together, feet to the ground. Slowly moving the block on the left side of your body so that you can roll yourself away from your props and rest on the left side of your body for a moment. Eventually using your hands to push the ground away as you lift yourself up to a comfortable seat. Once you get to your comfortable seat, just making sure you've got your props within reach here. We're going to come into Dragonfly pose. So taking our legs as wide as we can here. And taking it to a position where the leg muscles can relax entirely here. Sitting nice and tall on our in-breath. And as we exhale, just lazily beginning to curl our way forward and noticing the gap between the head and the ground here. And then working to fill the gap with our props. So some of us might just stack our blocks on top of each other, and that might work perfectly well. And then some of us will be a little higher up, away from the ground, in which case we might rest our blocks on the 2nd or 3rd height, somewhere in between the legs with a bolster, perhaps on top. If you need a little more support again, cushion on the long thin end, or the short thin end rather, and your blocks can then become your armrests as your head rests on the other end. So just go ahead and take a moment to find your version of the shape, what it is that your body needs here. Once you find that position, just beginning to close your eyes. Allow the shoulders to melt away from the ears. And just allow yourself to arrive into this place of stillness, this place of silence. When you get a chance to start to create and get creative in terms of what it is that you want to draw into your world. in the months and days and weeks ahead of us. As and when you feel like there's more space arriving into your body, feel free to make adjustments with your props that allow you to go a little further in. Remembering that nothing is forced. And this practice is one of simply surrendering to what's in front of us, what's within us. Notice the space start to arrive along the inside line of the legs. This feeling of ease through the back line of the spine, lower back perhaps in particular. You might notice any areas in the body that are still holding on to tension. Can you soften and relax into those areas? Slow down the breath. Let the nervous system know that you're in this safe place so that everything can start to magically unwind. And as we move into final moments of the shape, just notice how it feels compared to when you first began. Got 3 more slow, long, indulgent breaths just here. When the 3rd breath is complete, just slowly begin to roll yourself up vertebrae by vertebrae. Moving your props to the side and guiding a bend into the knees. Let's place the feet ahead of us a little here, leaning back into our hands as we windshield wipe the knees from side to side. A little release, a little blood flow, a little circulation. And when you're ready, we're going to make our way onto our backs. So clear a little space around you. And we're going to come into a shape called twisted roots. So you'll want to have a little freedom on the right side of your mat and just move your body over to the left side here, making some space for your arms. And draw the knees into the chest. We'll wrap the left leg over the right leg first of all, wrapping the feet and shins around each other if you're able to, and just slowly guiding the legs over to the right side here. Left arm is going to reach over to the left side of the room, and probably we're going to need a block or bolster underneath our knee here to fill the gap, because we want to keep the shoulders relaxed to the ground here. The knees can come in close to the body or a little further away. The choice is yours in terms of how you want to feel that. So let the shoulders melt down to the earth. Let the knees be supported in whichever way they need to. Let your gaze, direction of the head, fall in a place that feels natural for your neck. And notice where you're feeling it along the outside line of the body, if it's more through the upper body or the outer hip area. Know that the more you draw the knees into the center of your body, the deeper You might feel it through the outer hip, a deeper twist in the spine as well. And this shape allows us the opportunity to keep on going. Liver, meridian line, and organ itself are the creative part of the partnership. And the gallbladder is the organ that keeps things moving forward. Whenever we come into obstacles or things get in our way, if the gallbladder is in good health, then we should be able to overcome those obstacles. And yet when things are out of balance, we might feel a little congested, unable to make those creative plans, unable to sow the seeds, unable to make those dreams become a reality. We get a little stuck, a little lost. So think of this shape as making space, making things come to fruition. If there's room to make adjustments to your shape, feel free to do that. Three more breaths on this side. And when the third breath is complete for you, just slowly beginning to unwind, come back to center and just pause for a moment on your back here. Notice how you feel between the left and right side of the body. And when you feel ready, beginning to move your way to the right side of the mat now. Knees draw into the chest, right leg comes over left. We wrap the shins around each other where we can. Knees draw to the left, right arm to the right side of the room. And notice if you need support for your knees on this side. Remembering that it might be different from side to side. And once you're settled into your shape, once you've played with the position and height of your knees, closing your eyes, settling into this place of stillness. And briefly aware of how this side feels compared to the other side. Letting go of any judgments, just noticing what there is to notice without adding any extra information. And breathing into the lungs all the way around the body, so we know when we draw that energy in from the outside world, it helps with the health and circulation of everything that we need inside of our body, this feeling of nourishment that contributes to this inner harmony that we want to have good balance in our inner landscape as well as our outer world. Slowing down the breath as we journey further into the shape, making any adjustments that you might need to as your body starts to release. 3 more breaths in this direction. And when your third breath is complete, just slowly beginning to unwind as you guide the legs back through to center. Some of you might want to reach for your bolster, placing it behind your legs here. As you lie down into your final resting pose, Savasana, letting the feet fall freely in whichever direction they fall. Hands either on the belly or alongside the body. Closing your eyes as you come into this place of stillness, this place of simply being. Starting to bring the smallest movements back into the fingers and the toes here. Reaching the arms all the way up overhead, a full body stretch. Knees drawing into the chest as you gently roll over to rest on the left side of your body. Keeping your eyes closed as you use your hands to lift you up to a comfortable seat. And taking a moment to just check in. How do I feel in my mind and in my body? And see if we can carry this feeling of space, this feeling of ease, this feeling of inner harmony with us into the rest of our day, the rest of the weeks and months ahead. Bringing the hands together at heart center. And bowing our head to our hands in gratitude for the practice, in gratitude for our health. Namaste.